And he tried, he was game, but every time he threw one or two, Inoue came back with 4s and 5s and 6s.
Yeah, credit goes to Picasso for putting a great show on. He pushed Inoue back at times, but Inoue was just too good. I mean, he was too classy, he was sharp, them body shots, head shots, I mean, he was just beating him to every punch.
It's almost like a body stab, isn't it? He really puts a lot of weight into those body shots.
He's a great finisher. I think he's the best finisher in boxing. He's Joe Louis, he's Mike Tyson, he's Jack Dempsey. 3 of the greatest finishers in the history of the sport. He's all of them.
Japanese fighter is the best fighter. In my opinion, I'm nobody, but I think he's the best fighter. He's 122 now, right?
He's 122, he'd be going to 135.
Why don't they fight 132, something like that?
Naoya Inoue didn't just defeat Alan Picasso. He sent a message to the entire boxing world, and the pros heard it loud and clear. From the opening bell, Inoue's speed, timing, and ruthless precision exposed the gap between elite championship pedigree and raw potential. While Picasso searched for rhythm, Inoue stayed 2 steps ahead, breaking him down with sharp body shots and rapid combinations. Almost immediately after the final bell, fighters and analysts across divisions reacted, many calling it a masterclass and questioning who could truly challenge him next.
21.5 pounds for the undisputed world champion. 121.1 pounds for the undefeated challenger, Picasso. Here they are, face to face, 24 hours from stepping into the ring. Challenger and champion both undefeated. Picasso. Naoya, the master, Inoue.
Despite the lopsided scorecards in favor of Naoya Inoue, former world champion Amir Khan was quick to praise Alan Picasso's courage and resilience. Khan noted that stepping into the ring with a pound-for-pound elite like Inoue is no small task. He emphasized that Picasso's willingness to go the full 12 rounds showed heart and toughness that deserves respect. While the outcome reflected Inoue's superior skill and experience, Khan pointed out that performances like Picasso's, where a fighter refuses to quit, are what keep boxing compelling.
Tried, he was game, but every time he threw one or two, Inoue came back with 4s and 5s and 6s.
Yeah, credit goes to Picasso for putting a great show on. He pushed Inoue back at times, but Inoue was just too good. I mean, he was too classy, he was sharp, them body shots, head shots, I mean, he was just beating him to every punch.
It's almost like a body stab, isn't it? He really puts a lot of weight into those body shots.
We were sat ringside and we can hear the noise of them punches.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, wow, did he hear that noise? I mean, he has power, he has speed, movement, you name it. But I just feel that Picasso just fell short this time. He did a great job though. Honestly, when you look at the fight, he did not give up. Every minute of the fight, he was still there in front of him.
Yeah, you wonder if Picasso, if that's any other super bantamweight not named Inoue, you wonder if Picasso maybe would have got his hand raised, because he did look really good in there.
Yeah,
Darren.
And there was moments you felt he was trying to grow into the contest, but it was just the class and the level of Inoue that just stopped his man building any momentum. But against anyone else, you feel he could have been a real hard night's work. I don't want to discredit anything that Picasso's done there. He tried, he dared to be great. He was just in there with an elite level fighter. Look, just didn't have the one punch power, because he's delivered a nice left hook there. And look, again, I said it with Nakatani, you're always learning still with 31 bouts under your in your career, you're still having to learn. And there's a couple of moments there where he took a couple of silly shots, but
Renowned analyst Teddy Atlas revealed that he now ranks Naoya Inoue as his #1 pound-for-pound fighter. Atlas explained that he identified Inoue's potential years ago, particularly praising his defensive awareness and ring IQ. According to Atlas, Inoue's rise has been a long-anticipated journey rather than a sudden breakout. He even suggested that Inoue is on a path similar to Manny Pacquiao's, while also cautioning that moving up in weight presents different limits for every fighter.
The fact that I put Inoue on my pound-for-pound list, I don't know, 3 years ago, whatever it was, I don't even know how long.
That's true.
And no one...
You've been on him before I even knew who he was.
Ken, no one had him anywhere near it. They basically barely knew who he was, as you just touched on. And obviously he dominated Fulton, or at least put it this way. He established control right from the start. He made Fulton's a defensive fighter, a good counterpuncher. He made him concentrate more on defense and surviving than Fulton really wanted to early. He set he set the course of the fight, the mentality of the fight, the theme of the fight right from the start. Inoue just never let Fulton really get anything started, or as I said, any rhythm. He used his jab, again, similar to Crawford. The jab was very important for Inoue and for Fulton. Very important. Most important weapon of the night. Inoue used his jab to stabilize Fulton on the outside. Then he plays good body shots to take some of his legs away. He was placing beautiful body shots. He stepped out of range very effectively, controlling distance. He was very good defensively. You know, everyone talked about Fulton's defense. Inoue's defense. Yeah, he's a great offensive fighter, but his defense.
Ryan Garcia shared his thoughts on Naoya Inoue, saying he believes Inoue has the potential to become a multi-division world champion. Garcia also expressed interest in a possible future matchup, adding to the growing belief that Inoue can continue climbing weight classes and build a legendary resume.
Inoue can become a multiple weight world champion. So I'm thinking, what if one day we fight at 140? I'm talking about future, and we do it in Japan. It'll be huge, huge. Mark my words. If it somehow plays out that way, I think that fight will be one of the biggest pay-per-views of all time.
Former welterweight champion Sean Porter echoed similar praise, stating that Naoya Inoue has the potential to become the next Manny Pacquiao. Porter highlighted Inoue's exciting fighting style and dominant performances, suggesting they could resonate strongly with American audiences. His comments reflect how Inoue's impact is now extending well beyond Japan.
The monster is multi-dimensional.
Yeah, of course.
But have you seen him legitimately be multi-dimensional?
Yeah.
From a standpoint of being able, obviously we know he can punch.
Yeah.
We've seen him get to the body, but
he's a box people
I really haven't seen him stay on the outside and counter punch.
Do you think that's what he's gonna have to do against Fulton though?
It's not the point. The point is you just call him the #1 fighter on the planet.
Pound for pound.
But you gotta be able to do it all.
Yeah.
Who do you fight?
Following his dominant unanimous decision win over Alan Picasso, Naoya Inoue openly discussed what could come next. With both Inoue and Junto Nakatani winning on the same Riyadh card, fans and promoters immediately pointed to a potential all-Japanese super fight. Talks of Inoue versus Nakatani in 2026, possibly at the Tokyo Dome, are already gaining traction as one of the biggest matchups in Japanese boxing history. Inoue himself hinted that something major could be on the horizon.
It's huge. I mean, this is like probably billboards all over the place type of fight, huge in Japan. So, you know, I really, if it's in the conversation, could you see any other fight that Inoue could do that really could be this big? He could go up to featherweight and fight for the World Featherweight Championship. I don't know if it would be as big as this. Inoue Nakatani right now is probably the biggest fight for both guys for several reasons. And
Naoya Inoue, widely known as the Monster, strikes fear into opponents with his rare blend of speed, power, and technical brilliance. Fighters understand that facing Inoue isn't just a physical challenge, but a psychological one, as his relentless pressure never allows opponents to settle.
Inoue. So when you see, he got the victory over Cool Boy Steph. Cool Boy Steph, he's not a heavy puncher, good boxer. But far as, you know, Inoue, it was a Filipino fighter he had fought twice, Donaire. So Donaire was giving him fits in the first fight. And if I'm not mistaken, Donaire was somewhere close to 40 or 40 years old when he fought him the first time. Whereas he was in his 20s. So he should have knocked him out in the first fight, fighting a guy, you know, like I said before, you know, at that age. What I need Inoue to do is, I need him to come fight in the U.S., random blood, urine testing. I think he's a hell of a fighter. A hell of a fighter. I won't take nothing away from him. Hell of a fighter. And I like him because I see he take a lot of my.
His ability to deliver precise, devastating shots, combined with his refusal to back down, has built a reputation that few fighters can ignore. This aura of dominance is what sets Inoue apart and fuels the anticipation around every one of his fights.
Use that to set something up to get a guy gone. He only really lets his hands go if his opponents are hurt. That's just who he is. I actually appreciate that about him. You know, it does a few things. One, it keeps him safe because it's basically a defense mechanism. If I'm not wild and loose, you can't really counter me, or I just won't slip up and do something stupid. So there's not a whole lot that I'm giving you, basically, as an opponent. Not a lot that I'm giving you. But also, it preserves energy. And he can preserve energy. I mean, the guys at that weight, you know, they're a whole lot smaller, so they can definitely preserve energy. But when you're throwing those single shots like he does, it preserves energy. So he's still fresh in the championship rounds, which is quite intelligent. He does like...
Naoya Inoue versus Alan Picasso was billed as one of the year's biggest super bantamweight clashes. When the two unbeaten fighters met at the Mohammed Abdo Arena in Riyadh, the bout unfolded largely as expected, but not without drama. Inoue controlled the fight from the opening bell, using crisp combinations, sharp footwork, and steady pressure to dictate the pace over all 12 rounds.
Tactical look for this fight. When I saw the two men get into the ring, the first thing that I noticed straight away was Picasso was carrying an incredibly high guard, defensively keeping his gloves very, very high, trying to protect his chin. And one thing I'll say in general about Picasso in this fight is that his defensive awareness was very, very impressive. He very rarely dropped his hands after he threw a shot. His discipline was incredibly good. But the problem with that is that sometimes it leaves a lack of room for creativity with fighters. Yes, it's important to be defensively disciplined, but if you continue to give the same look over and over again, you're never ever going to beat a guy like Inoue. The first thing I said at the beginning of my live about this guy was I looked at him and I went, his elbows are incredibly flared. You know, he had the high guard, but his elbows was very, very far forwards, which instantly made me think he's giving the body to Inoue. He's offering it to him. Now, that can sometimes be done because it's to create counter-punching opportunities, but in this instance, I think it was just that he was so concerned about protecting his head, about not getting...
Throughout the fight, Inoue repeatedly targeted Picasso's body with well-timed, powerful shots. These attacks gradually disrupted Picasso's rhythm and slowed his forward movement. By the middle rounds, signs of fatigue were visible as Picasso's counters lost sharpness, showing how Inoue's bodywork was taking its toll. 11. Promoter Eddie Hearn offered a controversial take on Naoya Inoue, claiming that he has been a disappointment to Japan. This opinion sharply contrasts with the widespread praise Inoue receives from fighters, analysts, and fans worldwide.
Body was there all night for Inoue, and Inoue took it. He took the invitation, and he constantly stabbed to the body of Picasso. And in fact, I'd say that this fight kind of was a story of the body shots in many ways. Picasso, like Inoue, had most of his success to the body. The left hook in particular was a money shot for Picasso. But the difference between these two men was so obvious to see when they were standing in the pocket and they were exchanging left hooks in particular to the body. The impact of Inoue's shots was totally different from Picasso's. It was like Picasso had cushions, pillows inside his gloves, and Inoue had a bloody egg weight. It was damaging, it was vicious, and Picasso simply couldn't hang in the pocket for long periods of time with Inoue. I mentioned the lead hand of Inoue there to the body, but the lead hand of Inoue in general in this fight was incredible to see. I mean, the sharpness, the speed on it, the different levels that he throws it from, it's unbelievably unpredictable and difficult to read as a shot, and it allows...
Hearn went further by alleging that Inoue has avoided facing Mirajan Akhmadaliyev on 2 occasions. These comments added a layer of controversy to Inoue's otherwise celebrated career, sparking debate among boxing fans and insiders.
Gutted, devastated, disappointing for boxing, disappointing for Japan. Being honest with you, it's just a horrific mismatch. It's hard to say Inoue's ducking Akhmadaliyev, but he actually is. I'm telling you now, Inoue will not fight Akhmadaliyev at any point. I bet you he doesn't fight in September or December Akhmadaliyev, even though he's been ordered to do it. And I bet he vacates the belt as well. 4 fight fans in Japan, 4 fight fans around the world, the only fight that is competitive at 122 is Akhmadaliyev. The Henny fight...
Yeah, I'll tell you something, Inoue against MJ is one of the best fights in boxing, and I have to respect Inoue for taking it because the people around him didn't want to take that fight, and I kind of feel like I goaded them enough to take it, and I'm very pleased they took it because I see it as a 50-50 fight. two best fighters in the division, the best fight in the division, and we're looking forward to being in Japan.
Despite earning a dominant unanimous decision, Inoue admitted he wasn't fully satisfied with his performance. He explained that a demanding 2025 schedule left him fatigued, affecting his execution. While he still controlled the fight from start to finish, Inoue acknowledged there was room for improvement and said he plans to rest and return stronger.
Magazine, congratulations on the victory. You mentioned during your post-fight interview that you were a bit tired. Is that down to the 4 fights a year schedule? Is that the reason why you're tired?
リングマガジンからです、試合の直後のインタビューでちょっと疲れたとおっしゃってましたけれども、それは、4つ試合をこなしたそういうスケジュールのためにお疲れになってるんでしょうか。
まあそれも含めて今日の試合の内容も含め、終わってちょっとどっと疲れたなという感想です。
Yes, that's one of the reasons. But after tonight's performance, when I finished the fight.